The space station Harmony's Edge was busy today. Ships from many different worlds came and went. Inside the big metal station, humans worked side by side with aliens from across the galaxy. It was the year 2387, and Earth had been friends with alien worlds for 30 years now. 8-year-old Kim Dae-ho ran through the hallways of the station. His small feet made soft sounds on the metal floor. He loved living here with his father. There were so many cool things to see every day. Aliens with different colors, shapes, and sizes walked around. Some had scales, some had fur, and some looked like walking rocks. Dae-ho's father was Ambassador Kim Min-ho. He was an important man who talked to aliens about peace and trade. Right now, his father was in a big meeting about mining rights. Dae-ho didn't understand what that meant, but it sounded boring anyway. The boys stopped at the cultural center. This was his favorite place. It had displays from every world in the Federation. There were pictures, tools, art, and even some alien toys. Dr. Park Soo-yeon worked here. She was nice and always answered his questions about the different alien cultures. "Hello, Dae-ho," Dr. Park said with a smile. She was showing a group of alien visitors around today. "Are you here to look at the displays again?" "Yes," Dae-ho said. He looked at the group behind her. There was a tall lizard-like alien with green scales. That was Vextar Prime from the Saurian Empire. There was also a bug-like creature with many arms and shiny parts on its body. That was Zilthic from the Hive Collective. A third alien looked like it was made of blue crystals. That was Morden from the Ethereal Council. Dae-ho had seen these aliens before, but he was still curious about them. Kids are curious about everything. "What's that pretty light thing?" Dae-ho asked, pointing at a device that Zilthic was holding. The device made beautiful rainbow colors that danced in the air. Zilthic's big compound eyes looked down at the small human child. The device was a communication tool that his people used. It turned thoughts into light patterns. "This is how my people talk to each other across space," Zilthic said. His voice sounded like clicking and buzzing, but the translator made it sound normal to human ears. Dae-ho's eyes got big with wonder. "Wow, that's so cool!" He looked at Zilthic's airship through the big window. It was black and had a shape like a giant insect. "Your ship looks like a big bug. Are you guys the bad guys like in the movies?" The question was innocent. Dae-ho was just 8 years old. He watched cartoons where bug-like aliens were often the enemies. He didn't mean anything bad by it. He was just curious, like all children. But something terrible happened. The translator system picked up his words and sent them through the station's communication network. Every alien on the station heard what the little boy said. Zilthic's body went very still. The pretty lights from his device turned red and started flashing fast. In his culture, calling someone's appearance scary or comparing them to movie villains was a very bad insult. It meant you thought they were lower than you. Dr. Park's face went white. She knew this was bad. "Dae-ho, honey, that's not silence." Zilthic's voice was loud and angry. The clicking and buzzing sounds got much stronger. "This child has insulted my entire species. He calls us monsters. He compares us to fictional enemies." Vextar Prime's lizard eyes got narrow. He saw a chance here. The mining negotiations were not going well for his people. Maybe he could use this to get a better deal. "This is very serious, Vextar," Prime said in his deep, rough voice. "The human child shows what humans really think about us. They teach their young to fear us, to see us as enemies. This breaks the Federation's laws about respect and unity." Other aliens in the cultural center started gathering around. Word spread quickly through the station. Soon, many alien representatives came to see what was happening. Dae-ho looked confused and scared. He didn't understand why everyone was angry. Dr. Park put her hand on his shoulder to protect him. "Please, everyone calm down," Dr. Park said. "He's just a child. He didn't mean any harm." Children ask questions. That's how they learn. Zilthic's device was now flashing angry red lights very fast. "He called my people scary monsters. In our culture, this is the same as spitting on our ancestors." Morden, the crystal alien, spoke in a voice like wind chimes. The Ethereal Council is also concerned. If humans teach their children to fear other species, how can we trust them? More aliens arrived. The hallway filled with creatures from different worlds. They all looked angry or upset. Daeho started to cry. He didn't understand what he did wrong. Captain Lee Hanwoo heard about the problem and came running. He was the head of security for the human section of the station. He was a strong man with kind eyes, but right now he looked worried. "What's going on here?" Captain Lee asked. Vexstar Prime stood tall and proud. "Captain, this human child has insulted the Hive Collective and questioned the peaceful nature of our alliance. We demand action." "What kind of action?" Captain Lee asked. Though he was afraid of the answer, Zilthik stepped forward. His device was still flashing red. "We demand a formal apology from your government. We demand payment for this insult. And we demand that the child be corrected using our traditional methods." Dr. Park held Daeho closer. "What do you mean by corrected?" "In our culture, when someone insults another's appearance, they must experience the same fear they caused. The child must spend time in our correction chambers until he learns proper respect." Captain Lee's face got hard. In simple words, they wanted to punish an 8-year-old boy for asking an innocent question. "That's not going to happen, Captain," Lee said firmly. Vexstar Prime smiled, showing his sharp teeth. "Then we have a problem. The Saurian Empire supports our Hive friends. We will pull out of all trade deals with humans. We will recommend that the Federation remove Earth from the Alliance." Other aliens started nodding and making sounds of agreement. The situation was getting worse fast. Ambassador Kim Minho finally arrived. He had been pulled out of his important meeting. When he saw his son crying and surrounded by angry aliens, his face showed both worry and anger. "What is happening to my son?" Ambassador Kim demanded. They explained the situation to him. His 8-year-old boy had asked an innocent question, and now multiple alien species were threatening humanity's place in the Federation. "You have 48 hours, Zilthik announced. Apologize, pay us, and give us the child for correction. If you don't, we will make sure humanity becomes alone in the galaxy again." Ambassador Kim picked up his son and held him tight. Daeho was still crying and confused. "Daddy, I didn't mean to be bad," Daeho whispered. "You weren't bad, son. You weren't bad at all," his father said softly. But inside, Ambassador Kim was thinking fast. This was bigger than just his son now. This could mean war or the end of humanity's alliance with other worlds. Captain Lee walked close to the ambassador. "Sir, I'm sending a message to Earth immediately. Full emergency protocols." Ambassador Kim nodded. "Do it. Send everything, every detail." As the aliens left, still angry and making threats, the humans gathered together. They had 2 days to figure out how to save a child and maybe save humanity's future too. The message was sent to Earth. It would take 6 hours to reach home. Then Earth would have to decide what to do. None of the aliens knew what they had just started. They thought they were dealing with peaceful humans who would give up easily. They were very, very wrong. 6 hours after the message was sent to Earth, the reply came back. It was short and simple. "Protect the child. All limits removed. Full force authorized." Captain Lee Hanwoo read the message 3 times. He had served in the Earth Defense Forces before becoming a station security chief. He knew what those words really meant. Earth was not going to negotiate. Earth was not going to apologize. Earth was going to war if needed, sir. His assistant asked, "What are our orders?" Captain Lee pressed a button on his desk. It was red and had been locked away for years. "Activate Protocol 7. Send the signal to all human ships in this sector." Protocol 7 was something the aliens didn't know about. For 30 years, humans had been placing trade ships and research vessels all around alien space. These ships looked peaceful. They carried goods and did science. But they were something else too. They were warships in disguise. 18 hours after Daeho asked his innocent question, space around the station began to change. Ships that had been quietly floating nearby for months suddenly moved. More ships appeared from behind moons and asteroids. They had been hiding there, waiting. The alien representatives were having breakfast when the first ship decloaked right outside their window. It was huge, it was black, and it had enough weapons to destroy a small moon. What is that? Zilthik asked, his device flashing confused colors. More ships appeared, then more. Soon there were 50 human warships surrounding the station. They were bigger and more dangerous looking than anything the aliens had seen from humans before. Vexstar Prime's scaled hands were shaking. This is impossible. Humans don't have ships like this. You're a peaceful species. Admiral Yoon Tae-young's face appeared on every screen in the station. He was an older man with gray hair and cold eyes. Behind him, the bridge of his flagship was busy with activity. "Attention, all alien representatives," Admiral Yoon said in a calm voice. "I am Admiral Yoon Tae-young of the Human Defense Fleet. We need to talk." In the station's meeting room, the aliens gathered quickly. They were scared. Now, the human ships outside were clearly military vessels, not the small, peaceful ships they expected humans to have. Ambassador Kim Min-ho walked into the room carrying his son. Little Dae-ho was staying close to his father, still confused about why everyone was so upset. Dr. Kong Yoongi, a human psychologist, came with them. She was an expert in alien cultures and negotiations. But today, she wasn't here to negotiate. She was here to explain. "Gentlemen," Dr. Kang said, looking at each alien representative. "Yesterday, you made a mistake. A very big mistake." "We made no mistake," Zilthik protested. "The child insulted us." Dr. Kong smiled, but it wasn't a friendly smile. The child asked a question, an innocent question from an 8-year-old boy. "And you threatened to hurt him?" She walked to the big window. Outside, the human warships were getting into formation. More ships were still arriving. "Let me explain something about human culture," Dr. Kong continued. "We are what you would call apex predators. We evolved from hunters who could chase their prey across continents. We survived ice ages, plagues, and wars that killed billions of our own kind." Morden's crystal body was making worried, chiming sounds. "What does this have to do with the child's insult?" "Because," Dr. Kang said, turning back to face them, "in all of human history, across every culture and every time period, there is one thing that unites us completely, one thing that makes us stop fighting each other and work together." She paused and looked directly at Zilthik. "Threaten our children." The room got very quiet. Outside, more human ships were arriving every minute. The aliens could see them through the windows. "You wanted to punish a child for being curious," Dr. Kong said. "You wanted to put an 8-year-old boy in your correction chambers for asking an innocent question. Do you understand what you've done?" Engineer Oh Sung-min's voice came over the communication system. "Attention, alien vessels. This is Human Fleet Engineering. We are now showing you the real purpose of our mining operations that we've been negotiating about." Suddenly, holographic displays showed star maps throughout the room. Red dots appeared around every major alien homeworld. Each red dot was a human base or hidden ship. "For 30 years, Engineer O continued, we've been building bases and positioning ships around your worlds. You thought we wanted mining rights for resources? We wanted strategic positions." Vexter Prime's voice was shaking. "This is impossible. We would have detected military bases." "Would you?" Dr. Kang asked. "We disguised them as mining operations, research stations, and trade posts. Your own governments approved them and welcomed them." Admiral Yoon's face appeared on the screens again. "Every alien homeworld is now within range of human weapons. Every major trade route has human ships positioned along it. Every important military base in alien space has humans nearby, watching and waiting." The aliens were starting to understand. Humans had been planning this for decades. While they thought humans were weak and peaceful, Earth had been quietly surrounding them. "Why?" Morden asked, his crystal voice very quiet. Ambassador Kim Min-ho spoke for the first time. His voice was calm but very serious. "Because we learned from our own history. We knew that someday someone would threaten what we care about most. So we prepared." He held his son closer. Dae-ho was listening, but didn't understand the adult words. You see, we humans have fought wars for many reasons, Ambassador Kim continued. For land, for resources, for religion, for politics. But there's one type of war that unites every human everywhere. What type? Zilthik asked quietly. A war to protect our children. Dr. Kane pulled up more displays. They showed human population centers, military bases, and fleet positions throughout the galaxy. Right now, she said, every human in the galaxy knows what happened to Deho. Every human parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, and family friend knows that alien representatives threatened to hurt a human child. She paused to let that sink in. There are 12 billion humans in the galaxy now. They live on 300 worlds and stations, and every single one of them is ready to fight to protect this one little boy. The aliens looked at each other with growing fear. They had thought they were dealing with one family, one station, one diplomatic incident. They were actually facing the entire human species. What do you want? Vexter Prime asked. Admiral Yoon answered from the screens. It's simple. You will apologize to the child, not to the government, not to the species, to Deho himself. You will promise that no alien will ever again threaten a human child, and you will accept new Federation laws protecting all children from all species. And if we refuse, Zilthik asked. The Admiral's expression didn't change. Then we will. Remind the galaxy why Earth species survived everything our planet could throw at us before we reached for the stars. The room was silent for a long moment. Outside, human warships continued to arrive. The aliens could see that they were completely surrounded. Little Deho looked up at his father. Daddy, why is everyone so scared? Ambassador Kim knelt down to his son's level. Because sometimes, kiddo, people need to be reminded that being kind doesn't mean being weak. And nobody threatens our children. Zilthik's device flickered from red to blue, which meant sadness and regret in his culture. I apologize to the child. I was wrong to threaten him. The other aliens quickly agreed. They apologized to Deho and promised that children from all species would be protected, Deho being 8 years old. Pulled some candy from his pocket and offered it to the aliens. It's okay. Do you want some Earth candy? It's really good. The simple kindness of the child, even after they had threatened him, made the aliens realize how badly they had misunderstood humans. As the crisis ended and new treaties were signed, the human warships began to move back to their hidden positions. But now everyone in the galaxy knew the truth. Humans were not weak. They were not helpless. They had spent 30 years preparing for the day when someone would threaten what they loved most. And when that day came, their response was pure fire.